Hey, what's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my October book haul. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome, if not welcome back. So like I said before, I'm going to be sharing with you my October book haul. And it was a lot of books, but some of these books I pretty much got from publishers and from book boxes and from giveaways and stuff like that. So I think my book buying, I did pretty good job for October. So let's go ahead and get started with the first one. The two mangas that I got, which were volumes 1 and 2. And this is The Villains and the Demon Knight. And I was really intrigued with both of them. They still have the plastic on them. I haven't read them yet, but I was just really excited to read them both. They both sound really, really good. And I love just the romance aspect of it. So for the first volume, it says, tall, dark, and insatiable. When noblewoman Cecilia realizes she's been reincarnated into an atom game, her shock is further complicated by the fact that she's the villainess. What's worse, she can't seem to change her fate. Now her engagement is broken off, the heroine is harassing her, and she's forced to work in a brothel where her very first customer turns out to be the debauched leader of the Imperial Guard, Lucas Herbst. This dangerous Casanova looks like he'll be the end of her until he takes her as his fiance. So that right there, just with that alone, I was like, okay, I got to get into it. It sounds really good. And so I have volume 1 and then I also have volume 2. So I was like, why not? I might as well give this a try. So I got these 2 volumes. And then the next volumes, I was really intrigued with this one in particular. I had no idea about this manga. So I have volume 1 and volume 2, and that is Kowloon, the generic romance. So here is volume 1, and also here is volume 2. And so for volume 1, it says, welcome to Kowloon Walled City, a dystopian townscape where the people are brimming with nostalgia and where the past, present, and future converge. Amid the hidden emotions and extraordinary daily lives of the men and women working in its confines, a tale of romance begins to unfold for real estate agent Reiko Kajire, one that feels as familiar as Kowloon itself. So just with that alone, I'm here for that romance and being into the city, the walled city of Kowloon. So yeah, like I said, I got volume 1 and I have volume 2. So there's that. Next one I got from a publisher, and this book sounds really interesting and really good, and I'm intrigued. This is by Marissa Renee Lee, and it is Grief is Love, Living with Loss. So this is the book that I received from the publishers, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. I actually like the cover. It's really beautiful and colorful. And on the back it says, In Grief is Love, author Marissa Renee Lee reveals that healing does not mean moving on after losing a loved one. Healing means learning to acknowledge and create space for your grief. Healing is about learning to love the one you lost with the same depth, passion, joy, and commitment you had when they were alive, perhaps even more. Lee guides you through the pain of grief, whether you lost a person recently or long ago. She shows you what it looks like to honor your loss on your unique terms, and she debunks the idea of grief stages or timelines. Grief is Love is about making space for the transformation that a significant loss requires. In beautiful, compassionate prose, Lee offers wisdom about what it means to authentically and definitely claim space for grief's complicated feelings and emotions. And Lee is no stranger to grief herself. She shares her journey after losing her mother, a pregnancy, and a young cousin to the COVID-19 pandemic. These losses transformed her life and led her to question what grief really is and what her healing actually looks like. Grief is Love also explores the unique impact of grief on Black people and reveals the key factors that we all need for proper healing: permission, safety, care, grace, and more. The transformation we each undergo after loss is the indelible imprint of the people we love on our lives, which is the true definition of legacy. At its core, Grief is Love explores what comes after death and shows us that if we are able to own and honor what we've lost, we can experience a beautiful and joyful life in the midst of grief. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. This sounds something that I definitely want to read just for myself. I think it'll be great information, it'll be informational, And yeah, I look forward to reading this. So I got this from publisher Grief is Love. And then, let me see, I'm trying to pile these together. The next book that I got is also from a publisher. This book, I'm trying to see when it comes out. It comes out next year in 2024 of February. And it's called Black Girl, You Are Atlas. And here is the book. It looks, sorry about the glare, it looks beautiful. I love the cover. Even on, it has a blurb on the front. It says, Renee Watson in these poems has beautifully embraced the joys of being a girl and especially the love of being a sister. This atlas holds our hearts up. You will love it. And that was said by Nikki Giovanni, who is a poet. So this is going to be by Renee Watson with fine art, by Cadet Honore. So this is going to be coming out in 2024 of February. And it says, a thoughtful celebration of Black girlhood by New York Times bestselling author and poet Renee Watson. In this semi-autobiographical collection of poems, Renee Watson writes about her experience growing up at the intersections of race, class, and gender. Using a mixture of poetic forms from haiku to free verse, Watson shares recollections of her childhood in Portland, tender odes to the Black women in her life, and urgent calls for Black girls to step into their power. So yeah, I'm really excited to reading this, and thank you so much for sending this to me. I'm excited to get into this one. The next one is a manga, which is the second volume, and this is a Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom. I really enjoyed the first volume, so I wanted to give the second volume a try. It just was really, really good. And the fact like at the first volume, she was captured, like the witch was captured, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. So why not read the second volume? So I also have this. The next one, I had one off a giveaway, and this is a middle grade, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. And this is Keenan Masters and the Peerless Magic Crew. This is by Devon Sanders. So here is the book, and I really love this cover so much. And so for this one, it says, Keenan Masters doesn't know the truth about Peerless Academy. He thinks it's just a fancy art school that can't teach him anything he doesn't already know. How to write fire poems and won't solve his problems, the massive storms that threaten his home and family. But Peerless is not what it seems. Secret passageways, unexplainable portals, mysterious disappearances. Keenan and his new friends discover that the school is trying to contain a corrupt magic. A magic that gets churned up when Keenan starts putting his poetry to rhythm. Can Keenan and his friends prevent the magic from destroying the school and the world? So yeah. Really excited to get into this. I really am like starting to enjoy middle grade even more lately, and this just looks something up my alley. So I'm really looking forward to reading Keenan Masters and the Peerless Magic Crew. So here is that one I received. The next one is the author reached out to me for this particular book particularly because I do want to end up eventually reading this because it sounds really fascinating, and that is Tribe of the Chord by Sean Michael Stone. So this is this book, and it says, Adira knows only life alone in the wilderness with her father, Torian. Surviving the wild is bearable with him. That's until a mysterious clan known as the Ursa abduct him. On the run from the aggressors, she must flee to unfamiliar lands and put her survival skills to the test. Along the way, she forms friendships and joins a tribe in the hope of finding her father. Will she conquer the challenges set before her to become a member of this society and rescue Turian? Or will the terrifying Ursa clan bring doom to them all? So this just sounds really good. I was intrigued and I was like, yes, I definitely will read this, and I look forward to reading this. But yeah, so I had gotten this from the author. He sent this to me, and thank you so much for sending this to me. I cannot wait to read it. So you have that. The next book, I was able to be part of a book tour for this particular book. I read this to my kids and they absolutely loved it. And this is a picture book, and that is Okru Stew, a Gullah Geechee family celebration. And this is by Natalie Dace. So yeah, I read this to my kids and they had a ball. They loved it. And also we plan on following the recipe to create the okra stew. So it gives you ingredients and everything what you need in the very back of this book, which I'm really excited for. And it says literally, my okra stew recipe. I never saw my great grandmother use a recipe, and while I have used recipes for all kinds of things, stews are often composed by feel and whatever is at hand. But I know how important it is to pass traditions from one generation to the next. So I'll do my best to detail my process. And she gives us all what we need and the ingredients and instructions on like heat olive oil in a large stew pot or Dutch oven. So it's very, very strict to what you need to do to make this okra stew recipe. So my kids and I were going to make this stew recipe together for the okra stew, and I know that's just going to be a fun time, and they loved it. So cannot wait to make the stew with my kids. So I also got this. The next book I received from the author, he has, his newest book just came out a couple days ago, and I have not heard about this series whatsoever, so I'll be reading these really, really soon, even doing a book review for them. So I got books 1 through 3. The first one is Laws of Deprivity by Eric LaSalle. This is the first book. The second book is Laws of Wrath, the second book in the series. And then the newest book that just came out is Laws of Annihilation. And this is a martyr maker novel. So yeah, this is the newest book that just came out. I'm really excited to get into this book, this series, because from what I've heard, it's going to be a long series and I need to catch up. So cannot wait to get into these books. And thank you so much, Eric LaSalle, for sending me these books. I am so excited to read them, and I cannot wait to see what you have in store for me. So cannot wait. Thank you so, so much. The next book, I had personally bought this myself because it's Oprah's book pick, and honestly, this is my first book that I'll be reading by Jasmine Ward. I know that sounds bad, so I plan on reading her backlist as well. And so, if y'all don't know, I'm talking about Let Us Descend, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. For the synopsis, it says, Let Us Descend is a reimagining of American slavery as beautifully rendered as it is heart-wrenching, searching, harrowing, replete with transcendent love. The novel is a journey from the rice fields of the Carolinas to the slave markets of New Orleans and into the fearsome heart of a Louisiana sugar plantation. Annis, sold south by the white enslaver who fathered her, is the reader's guide through this hellscape. As she struggles through the miles-long march, Annis turns inward, seeking comfort from memories of her mother and stories of her African warrior grandmother. Throughout, she opens herself to a world beyond this world, one teeming with spirits of earth and water, of myth and history, spirits who nurture and give, and those who manipulate and take. While Ward leads readers through the descent, this, her fourth novel, is ultimately a story of rebirth and reclamation. From one of the most singularly brilliant and beloved writers of her generation, this miracle of a book inscribes Black American grief and joy into the very land, the rich but unforgiving forests, swamps, and rivers of the American South. Let Us Descend is Jasmine Ward's most magnificent novel yet, a masterwork for the ages. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is going to be like I said, my first book that I'll be reading by Jasmine Ward. And like I said, I plan on reading her backlist, but I know this is going to be a heart-wrenching book. I got to be mentally prepared, but I plan on reading it as soon as possible. So I got this. The next book that I got was, I needed to get this. I feel like for this particular author is an auto buy for me, especially reading her other book that came out, I think it was last year or the year before that, and I loved it. It was called Every Mirror She's Black, and so this is her next book, and that is Everything Is Not Enough. This is by Lola Akiminde-Akostrom. I'm hoping I'm saying her name correctly. If not, I do apologize. But yeah, I wanted to read her next book, and it just came out. And so for this book, it says, let's see. Can a career woman truly have it all? Powerful marketing executive Kemi Adeyemi has finally found the man she needs, but Tobias Wickerstrom thinks she's the most selfish woman he has ever met for asking him to give up his life in Sweden and move to the U.S. for her own comfort. Will Kemi be forced to stay chipping away at her hard-earned career if she wants to keep him? As things begin to sour and Kemi faces challenges in her relationship with Tobias, someone also makes moves into the picture. Can having it all be a gilded cage? Looking into divorce in Sweden isn't what former model turned flight attendant Brittany Ray von Luden anticipated. Only jointly owned assets are split evenly between couples, and Brittany gave up her career and went with nothing into Johnny's kingdom. Having had a child with him, Brittany fears their daughter, Maya, will be cut off from the resources she's become accustomed to. Trying to get away from a man obsessed with a ghost isn't going to be easy, and the deeper she digs into his past, the darker the secrets she unravels. So literally from every Mirror She's Black, there was always 3 women with 3 different perspectives and point of views. So I feel like this is going to be like around in the same format. And so for this one, the next one, it says, can you run from your past to have it all? After fleeing her home with the help of a client to seek a new life in Sweden, Yasmin carves out her own small corner of the world, finding love in the arms of Yagis Selik. But when someone from her past forces Yasmin to become a caretaker before she's ready, she must confront and move beyond her teenage history, all while pursuing her dreams of becoming a makeup artist. And it says, follow the loosely intertwined and messy lives of Kemi, Brittany, and Yasmin as they integrate themes of place, prejudice, and patriarchy in Europe. Lolo Akamini Akastroms proves yet again that she is the next great voice of nuanced contemporary women's fiction. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. Like I said, I loved her first book, In Every Mirror She's Black, and so I'm looking forward to reading Everything Is Not Enough. This sounds really good, especially we are exploring 3 different lives with 3 different women, so I'm here for it. So I cannot wait to read this. The next one that I personally had gotten, which I'm really intrigued into reading this is a nonfiction book, and I really just wanted to read this, and that is An Inconvenient Cop, My Fight to Change Policing in America. This is by Edwin Raymond, and I just wanted to read it. It sounded something like was really intriguing, especially when it comes to police brutality and things that the police do and they get away with it, and there's no type of discipline, there's no type of anything. So I'm really excited to get into this one. It says, from the highest ranking whistleblower in NYPD history, a gripping insider look at the complexities of modern policing and the urgent need for reform. I'm not going to say much about this book, but I just wanted to let you know a little snippet of what it's about, and I definitely cannot wait to read this one. The next one is a graphic novel, which I'm definitely going to be reading in November, and that is Earth Divers by Stephen Graham Jones. I've been wanting to read this. I've seen this, that Ashley from the Bookish Realm has read this. I also believe Bree from Lock Petition, I think she's also read this as well. But I am really looking forward to reading this. It says, new worlds aren't discovered, they're built. And it goes into the year is 2112, and the apocalypse is exactly as expected. Rivers receding, oceans rising, society crumbling. Humanity has given up hope except for a group of indigenous survivors who have discovered a time travel portal and figured out where history took a sharp turn for the worse, America. So yeah, just reading that alone, I was like, I'm here for it. I'm really here for it. So I cannot wait to read this in November. So I also had gotten this. The next book I had gotten book mail for. I really wasn't expecting it at all. It's called The Star and the Strange Moon. This is by Constance Sayer. This book comes out sometime in November, but it looks like it's like we're having different perspectives. Like we're stepping into the year of 1968 and then into the year of 2007. And it says, a haunting tale of ambition, obsession, and the eternal mystery and magic of film from the author of A Witch in Time. So yeah, this sounds really interesting. So I might give it a try. So I also got this. This next book I had won from a giveaway. I'm really excited to read this. This book comes out next year in January. And this is a Rick Riordan Presents book, and that is A Drop of Venom. This is by Sanyi Patel. It says, all monsters and heroes have beginnings. So I was able to win this from a giveaway on Instagram. I'm really excited that I even won, because I rarely win. And just the cover, it brings you in. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. It says, 16-year-old Manisha is no stranger to monsters. She's been running from them for years, from beasts who roam the jungle to the king's army, who forced her people, the Naja, to scatter to the ends of the earth. You might think that the kingdom's famed holy temples atop the floating mountains, where Manisha is now a priestess, would be safe, but you would be wrong. 17-year-old Petrucia is a famed slayer of monsters, one of the king's most prized warriors, and a frequent visitor to the floating temples. For every monster the Slayer kills, years are added to his life. You might think such a powerful warrior could do whatever he wants, but true power lies with the king. Tired after years of fighting, Proshus wants nothing more than a peaceful, respectable life. When Parshus and Manisha meet, each sees in each other the possibility to chart a new path. Unfortunately, it says, unfortunately, the kingdom's powerful have other plans. A temple visitor sexually assaults Manisha and pushes her off the mountain into a pit of vipers. A month later, the king sends Parshus off to kill one last monster, a powerful Najin who has been turning men to stone. Before he considers granting the Slayer his freedom, except Manisha doesn't die. Despite the hundreds of snake bites covering her body and the venom running through her veins, she rises from the pit more powerful than ever before. With heightened senses, armor like skin, and blood that can turn people to stone. And Parshus doesn't know it, but the monster he's been sent to kill is none other than the girl he wants to marry. Oh, that's really intense. Oh, man. It says, alternating between Manisha's and Parshus' perspectives, Sandy Patel weaves together lush language, high stakes, and page-turning suspense, demanding an answer to the question, what does it truly mean to be a monster? Oh, man. Okay, yeah. I'm even more excited for it now. That definitely was very intriguing. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And like I said, this particular book comes out in January of 2024. So you have that one. These next two books I just recently received from Fairy Loot. I'm not going to read the synopsis or anything, but I will let you see this is what I received. So we have The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guazon. And then I have The Forest Grimm by Catherine Purdy. And these are the two books that I received for the October box from Fairy Loot. So we have these. The next book I wanted to get this book. I went ahead and just ordered it from not Fairy Loot, but from Waterstones. Sorry, let me open this box real quick because I'm sure it has a book in here. But anyways, I wanted to get this book, specifically a UK edition because it goes with my other editions. And I just wanted to get this book because I love Carrie Maniscalco. I love her writing. And this is a thickums. This is a thick book. And it's a standalone. So I was like, okay. So I have Throne of the Fallen. It says, deception is the most wicked game of all. So yeah, this goes into like the Kingdom of the Wicked series and stuff like that, which I really loved and adored. So I'm really looking forward into reading Throne of the Fallen. And I got this from Waterstones. So I'm not even going to read the synopsis for this one. I just want to be surprised. I have an idea of what it's about. But I want to, like I said, I just want to be surprised. And I love the fact that this book also has a map of where the world that we're going to be in. So there we have, I have this right here. Next, I also have this recently just came out, literally on October 31st, and that is The Sun Sets in Singapore by Kehinde Fadibe. So this is a beautiful cover. I'm really intrigued to read this. It sounds something that I would love, so I definitely look forward to reading this, but I also received this as well from a publisher. So we have this. And then lastly, I had gotten this book for a giveaway. On IG, there was like a little, well, not necessarily a giveaway, but it was like a book exchange where the person that on their page, they wanted to do a book exchange, and she went ahead and assigned people the books, you know, like their wish, the people that they were supposed to gift a book to. And, you know, they said get a book from their wish list. So I already sent my book off to someone, which I posted on my IG if you missed it. And this says, enjoy your gift. Happy bookstagramming, hugs. And this is from Claire Sully, and her Instagram page is You Won't Be Sully. So yeah, so this was one of my books that was on my wish list. So I'm really excited to get into this. I'm thinking about next year of reading books regarding Greek mythology. Like literally for one of my months is literally going to be books I'm reading strictly Greek mythology. And so this is going to be one of the books, and that is Psyche and Eros, and this is by Luna McNamara. And this says, who said true love is a myth? So yeah, I really love Greek mythology. I'm a fan for Greek mythology. And so when I heard about this book, I was intrigued and I just wanted to read it. And so for this particular book, it says, has the god of love finally met his match? In this utterly transporting reimagining of Greek mythology, the god of desire is cursed to fall for a spirited young mortal woman. But if she looks upon his face, they will be parted forever. An epic adventure and love story for the ages. sure to satisfy fans of Madeline Miller and V.E. Schwab. And so for the synopsis, here it goes. It says, a prophecy claims that Psyche, princess of Mycenae, will defeat a monster feared even by the gods. Rebelling against her society's expectations for women, Psyche spends her youth mastering blade and bow, preparing to meet her destiny. When Psyche angers the love goddess Aphrodite, she sends Eros, the god of desire, to deliver a cruel curse. After eons watching humanity twist his gifts, the last thing Eros wants is to become involved in the chaos of the mortal world. But when he pricks himself with the arrow intended for Psyche, Eros finds himself doomed to yearn for a woman who will be torn from him the moment their eyes meet. Thrown together by fate, headstrong Psyche and world-weary Eros will face challenges greater than they could have ever imagined. And as the Trojan War begins and divine powers try to keep them apart, the pair must determine if the curse could become something more before it's too late. A joyous and subversive tale of gods, monsters, and the human heart and soul, Psyche and Eros dazzles the senses while exploring notions of trust, sacrifice, and what it truly means to be a hero. With unforgettably vivid characters, spellbinding prose, and delicious tension, Luna McNamara has crafted a shimmering and propulsive debut novel about a love so strong it defies the wills of Olympus. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this, y'all. Like I said, my goal is to really to make a Greek mythology TBR, and for that entire month I'm just going to be reading Greek mythology. So yeah, I have Psyche and Eros, and I know I'm gonna love this book. But that is it. Those are all the books that I got and received in October. I really hope you enjoyed this book haul. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you all so much, and I hope you are staying healthy and staying safe. See ya.